Sir, 61. The nays are 36. The bill, as amended, has passed.
Mr. President, what a great day. What a great day. And now,
that was just about an hour ago. The Senate took the major step towards enshrining the right to same-sex and interracial marriage federally. 12 Republicans joined with the Democrats to pass the Respect for Marriage Act. You heard the vote count right there. That legislation is now expected to receive quick passage in the House. It already did once, and then it goes to the president's desk to become law. In the world of Washington politics, this push to codify same-sex and interracial marriage happened incredibly fast, and its bipartisan support was completely unexpected just a few months ago. Kent's here to explain what this law actually would do and why it matters. Hey, Kent.
Hey, Jenna. Yeah, this all really started after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade this summer. In his opinion, Justice Clarence Thomas also called the right to same-sex marriage into question. Legal scholars say he was essentially inviting a legal challenge, but in doing so, he motivated lawmakers on both sides of the aisle to add new federal protections.
Mr. Coons, Mr. Cornyn.
Though Congress appears to be hours away from codifying same-sex and interracial marriage into federal law, it doesn't mean legal challenges go away.
There certainly will be a slew of lawsuits, and as soon as this law is signed, you will see those lawsuits. The Supreme Court will have an opportunity to take any one of those lawsuits or multiple if it would like to.
But it doesn't mean they're likely to. And Supreme Court scholars like University of Minnesota political science professor Tim Johnson says the Respect for Marriage Act is designed to stand up to those challenges by relying on the Constitution's full faith in credit clause.
And this provision using full faith and credit really will make it difficult for the U.S. Supreme Court to decide that this law is unconstitutional. Why? Because full faith and credit is an actual provision in the Constitution that states are mandated to follow to protect the rights of everybody from other states.
It's the same clause that requires state driver's licenses be recognized throughout the U.S. And by adding that constitutional language to the Supreme Court's landmark Obergefell decision in 2015, which requires all states to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples, he says it's unlikely even the court's conservative majority would overturn it.
Did they Supreme Court proof this potential law?
Yeah, I think that that's one way to think about it. It's almost like the icing on the cake, right? The cake is Obergefell that says you have this right. The icing is the law that says we are going to tell you once again you have this right. Oh, and by the way, there's this full faith and credit provision that ultimately says we've got an additional layer of protection for this right.
And he says a new amendment making clear that nonprofit religious organizations are not required to help perform a same-sex marriage offers one final flourish because it keeps with legal precedent and keeps this bipartisan effort together.
The Republicans learned a very difficult lesson during the midterms at the beginning of this month, and that is when you go around supporting the idea of taking away rights of large swaths of Americans, Americans are not going to be happy about that and are not going to vote for you. And so beyond the Supreme Court issue and the actual right involved here, the Democrats are really painting the Republican Party into a corner by saying, we're daring you now to come and fight against a right that a large majority of Americans now believe every American should have, and that is the right to marry.
And that large majority he just referenced, well, that comes from a Gallup poll this summer that found that a record 71% of Americans support same-sex marriage. Again, the House is expected to sign off on this bill in the coming days and then send it to President Biden, who said tonight that he looks forward to enacting it.